You get the text from your ex, and before you even finish reading it, your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, your hands are shaking. You haven't done anything wrong, you haven't said a word, but your body is already at war. You're a grown man, and afterwards, you're ashamed of yourself for it, because you should be able to hold it together by now, right? But what if the reaction isn't a character flaw? Here's what's actually happening inside your body, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the biology behind every reaction you've been ashamed of, every time you've snapped, shut down, or couldn't find words. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your nervous system behaves the way it does at custody exchanges, after hostile texts, and in those 2 a.m. moments when you can't sleep. And more importantly, you'll stop treating your body like the enemy. We're going to look at 3 models your nervous system switches between, then the unconscious threat detector that controls them, then the 4 survival responses that show up in every single co-parenting conflict. Not opinions, not guesswork, the biology. Most of us grew up thinking stress works like a light switch. You're either calm or you're stressed, on or off. But a researcher named Stephen Porges discovered something different. He found that your nervous system actually has 3 settings, not 2, 3. Think of it like a building with 3 floors. The top floor, safe and connected. This is where you want to be. You can think clearly, you can listen to your kids, you can read an email without your heart racing, your body feels settled. The middle floor, fight or flight. This is the gas pedal. Your body senses danger and revs up, your heart pounds, your muscles tighten, you're ready to argue, defend, or get the hell out of there. The bottom floor, shut down. This is the emergency brake. When the threat feels too big or it goes on too long, your body pulls the plug. You go numb, foggy, you stare at the wall, you can't even think of what to say. Some guys describe it as feeling nothing. And here's the part most people miss. You can't skip floors. You can't jump from shutdown straight to feeling calm and connected. You have to climb back up through the middle first. That's why some guys go from numb to suddenly angry. They're not losing control, they're climbing the ladder. This is what nervous system regulation actually means. Not meditating away the stress, not white knuckling through it. It means understanding which floor you're on and why. But what's actually controlling which floor you land on? Something far faster than your conscious mind could ever be. Porges discovered something that changed how we understand human stress. He found that your body has a built-in threat detector that's always running in the background. He called it Neuroception. And here's what makes it so important. It works faster than thought, faster than your name, in about 200 milliseconds. Before you've even finished reading the first line of that email, your brainstem has already scanned for danger and pulled the trigger. You didn't choose to feel your heart race. You didn't decide to clench your jaw. Your nervous system made that call for you. Because in its world, speed beats accuracy. It would rather be wrong and alive than right and dead. And here's why this matters so much for guys going through what you're going through. Your threat detector doesn't just respond to physical danger. It responds to tone of voice, to a name on a notification, to a car pulling into the driveway for a custody exchange, to the sound of your lawyer's ringtone. Your nervous system learned that these things mean trouble, and now it reacts before you get a vote. And the hardest part, it doesn't know the war is over. It's still running the same threat assessment from 2 years ago, from the worst moments of your relationship, and it's trying to protect you with information that's out of date. And this is where it gets personal, because this threat detector doesn't just push you into one response. It has 4. You've probably heard of fight or flight, but there are actually 4 survival responses your body uses, and every single one of them shows up in co-parenting. Fight, this is the one most guys recognize first. You get a hostile message, and within seconds you've typed a 5-paragraph rebuttal. You want to destroy their argument. You snap at the kids after an exchange, not because of them, but because your body's still running the fight. Flight, this is avoidance. You don't open the co-parenting app for 3 days. You pour a drink after every exchange. You bury yourself in work so you don't have to think about any of it. Your body's trying to get you away from the threat. Even when you can't physically leave, it's trying to create distance from something you can't see and exit from. That's not weakness, that's biology. Freeze. This is the one guys are most ashamed of. You're in mediation and your mind goes completely blank. You're staring at a message and you can't form a response, and during the handover you feel nothing, like you're watching yourself from outside your own body. Freeze isn't weakness. It's what your nervous system does when the threat feels too big to fight and too permanent to run from. It pulls the emergency brake. And then there's fawn. This is one almost nobody talks about with men. Fawn is people-pleasing as survival. It's saying yes to schedule changes that hurt you because saying no feels too dangerous. It's rereading your text 5 times to make sure nothing could be used against you. It's apologizing for things you didn't do just to keep the peace. Fawn isn't kindness. It's a strategy your nervous system uses when fighting is too risky, running isn't an option, and shutting down would mean losing time with your kids. Now, if you recognize yourself in any of those, I need you to hear something, and I need you to really hear it. Your nervous system isn't broken. It's loyal. Every single one of those responses, the anger, the avoidance, the numbness, the people-pleasing, your body learnt those because at some point they kept you safe. They worked. And now your nervous system is running those same plays because it genuinely, on a biological level, believes you are still in danger. And in a high conflict co-parenting situation, it's not wrong. There is real threat here, real unpredictability, real consequences. So no, you're not broken, you're not weak, you're not failing as a man or as a father. What's happening to you is not a character flaw, it's biology. And there's something else the research shows that I think you need to know. Studies on men and emotion found that men don't feel less than women. In many cases, men's bodies actually respond more intensely. Bigger heart rate changes, stronger physical reactions. But men have been trained to show less on the outside. So you've got this massive internal storm and you're told to look like nothing's happening. And when you can't hold it together perfectly every single time, you call yourself weak. You call yourself a failure. But that reaction you've been beating yourself up about, that's not weakness. That's pattern recognition. So if this is biology, not a character flaw, what do you do about it? And I want to be honest with you. I'm not going to pretend one breathing exercise fixes everything. We're going to go much deeper into regulation tools in future videos. But the research is clear on this. The single most important first step is not control. It's awareness. A neuroscientist named Dan Siegel showed that when you put a name on what you're feeling, even something as simple as, I'm in fight mode right now, or I'm shutting down, it activates a different part of your brain. It's like flipping on a light in a dark room. The thing that was controlling you, now you can see it. He calls it Name It To Tame It. And it sounds too simple, but brain imaging studies show it actually works. Labeling an emotion reduces the intensity of the emotional response. So here's your practice for this week. Just notice. That's it. When you feel your chest tighten before reading a message, say to yourself, I'm on the middle floor. My body just went into fight or flight. When you get blank in a conversation about the kids, say to yourself, that's freeze. My nervous system just pulled the emergency brake. You're not trying to fix it, not yet. You're just naming it. Because you can't change a state you don't even recognize you're in. And one more thing you can try right now. It's called a physiological sigh. It's 2 breaths in through your nose. The second one's short, like topping off. And then one long, slow breath out through your mouth. Here's how it goes. I've explained this in so many videos, but it works so powerfully and it just feels so good. I can feel it already. But that extended exhale directly activates the calming branch of your nervous system. It's backed by a Stanford study and it takes about 10 seconds. Try it before you open the next co-parenting message. Try it in the car before a custody exchange. It won't solve everything, but it starts climbing you back up the ladder. And there's one last thing I want you to take away from this video, and maybe the most important thing. Your nervous system was not built to do this alone. Humans are wired to calm down in the presence of other safe humans. The research calls it co-regulation. And it means that isolation, which feels safe, is actually one of the most expensive things you can do to your nervous system. One safe person, a friend you can call on, a therapist, a men's group, even your dog. That's not soft, that's not weakness, that's the actual biological mechanism your body needs to come back to the top floor. I put together a free high conflict co-parenting survival guide that goes deeper into these tools. The link is in the description below. And if you want to understand how your ex specifically triggers this system, how their words and behavior hijack your brain, watch the video named Your Prefrontal Cortex Goes Offline. I'll link it right here. It goes hand in hand with everything we just covered. You're not broken. Your nervous system is doing its job. And now you know how it works. I'll catch you on the next one.